Evening. This is DK News 60, Terre Haute, Indiana. How you doing this evening, guys? From the East Coast to West Coast and North and South and everything in between and around the world. Welcome to DK News in Terre Haute. So, how's it going in your neck of the woods there, fellas? Got any bombs going off? Got any sleeper cells waking up? Yes, sir. It's going to be a long night for somebody. Probably a little bit of everybody tonight around the world. I'm going to take about a couple minutes here. I want to see if we get anybody else to join us live before we actually start the broadcast. So I'm going to ask you to hold on. We'll see what happens here in a minute. Let me get a few people on the line. We'll start our broadcast. All right, all right. Welcome everybody to DK News. How's everybody doing tonight? Where's everybody from? Leave me a comment here to find out where everybody's at tonight. There you go. All right, so where's everybody from tonight? How you doing? What's going on in the world over there, huh? There we go. Wait a few more minutes, see if anybody else gets on the line here. Give me a couple minutes to get this situated, settle in. There you go. All right. I'll give a minute or two, see if we get a few more people on the line here. Probably working late tonight too. Leave me a comment where you're all from. Hey, give me a thumbs up if you can hear me there, guys. Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. What's the weather like where are you at? It's about pretty cloudy here, a little chilly. Yeah, it's 40s now, I think. Gonna get down to about 30 degrees tonight. Or probably about 34 degrees tonight. So it's gonna be a little chilly. But ain't no snow on the ground, I think. We had some thunderstorms here in Terre Haute, but not too bad. It's better. A little chilly, but better than snow. You can have that damn snow if you want. Indiana has all 4 seasons, sometimes 5 or 6. All right, in about a minute or two, we'll go ahead and get started here. I figure if they want to rewind the broadcast, they can. So, a lot going on in the world today. Apparently, I ran the other day, or sometimes, well, depending on where we want to look at the world, but is blowing up civilian ships in the Hummmm. That's why your gas prices are going up. Not to mention they're blowing up their own damn refineries over there because they're idiots. And they're trying to jack up the price of oil over there, but Gavin Newsom trying to blame that on Trump. But see, what people don't realize in California, and I'm from California, I actually lived in California about 20 years, about 40, 50 years ago anyway. California sits on one of the largest oil fields in the world, believe it or not. But you don't want to disturb the environment there, and they got to have their gas grade a certain grade of gas. It's too expensive for them to refine, but it's tough shit. But there's one problem that California's getting ready to have, and that's Iran is going to be sending drones out to California so they can blow it off the face of the earth, which, go ahead. Newsom wants to be a dick about his own oil, fuck him, you know. If California wants to be their own country, let them have it. But they'll be crying and whining like little babies. Oh, we need help. They're blowing us up. They're blowing us up. Iran's here blowing us up with drones. He's the first one to suck your dick for help. Give him Newsom's address. Let him go first. Get rid of the illegal Mexicans there, and we'll have a nice little country around. Otherwise, you're going to have a beachfront property in Arizona. But that's my opinion. You know, Newsom deserved everything he gets. But I was born in Indiana, raised in California, come back here, and I don't regret it one damn bit. But the only thing I do is miss Mexican food. But shit, I make that on my own. But it is what it is, folks. So leave me a comment where you're from. What do you think's going on over there in California? You think they're going to attack California with their drones? Or do you think they're just blowing smoke out your ass? I think they're probably going to try to attack it myself. I mean, they ain't got nothing to lose. I mean, The new leader of Iran, where the hell is he at? And they announced him one day, showed his face on TV. Well, a picture of him on TV with his face. I don't think he ever spoke one word that I know of or read anywhere else of. I think they showed a picture of him and said, and then the next few hours later said he was wounded, which is kind of odd. And then they said he was critically wounded the next day, and one night just kind of disappeared. That was fast. So, I guess my biggest question is oh, where can the Khomeini be? Oh, where can he be? Yeah, there you go. Everybody was saying he was going to be worse than his dad, but I can't even find him, motherfucker. He's lost in paradise, lost somewhere, lost in La La Land. So, but anyway. Anyhow. All right. So where's everybody from in the world? Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me out there. Please, Nate. I don't know. I've been having trouble with my mic lately, so let me have a leave me a thumbs up so I can see that you can hear me or working. Leave me a comment in the comment section where y'all from. I'd like you to like, subscribe, and share my channel. It helps with the logarithm. You can donate to my channel via the description and via the PayPal address in the description of my show.
I know, it's fucking cold. It's fucking cold.
So, where's everybody from here? Can you give me a thumbs up if you can hear me okay? Hello. What's going on in your neck of the woods, guys?
No, not maintenance man. Maintenance man is only for what is, Let me have it.
My blood cells are dropping. So yeah, my cells are blood. I mean, the diet that they have me on now is to maintain weight. Well, so I don't get skinny or rail. The problem is that my weight is dropping. My weight is dropping.
Miss Bonnie over here has somewhat took the buttons off the damn
Howdy. What's going on, bud? Peace out, bro. Where you from? Broette, where you guys from? Leave me a comment in the section. Can you drop me a thumbs up if you can hear me? I've been having trouble with my mic lately. So make sure my mic is working. Can everybody hear me out there? Thumbs up, please. Leave me a comment in the section down below where you're from. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share the video. If you have missed anything, you can always rewind at the beginning here. It is live, but you can always go to the beginning and do a quick set beginning to get a brief outline of what we're going to be talking tonight here in a little bit more. We'll be talking about Iran, what's going on with the leader, the drones that are getting ready to hit off the coast of California, and the sleeper cells waking up all over the country, and not to mention the Mexican cartel flying drones into California as well. Well, like California might be beachfront property for Arizona. Who knows? I think you ought to give him Gavin Newsom's address. Let's try his house first. But anyway, we might have a twofer here. We get rid of all the illegals and all the idiots in California in one shot. And we don't have to do it. Governor Newsom's going to be begging Trump, come and help me, come and help me. We don't mind federal troops in our state, man. You can bring them all in now if you want to. We need help. We're getting our ass kicked, blown up by Iran. Trump said, no, baby, you don't want us, remember? You didn't want to help now. You kicked us out of California. Yeah, I can see that one coming. Kiss the ring. Kiss the ring, bitch. If you want to help, kiss the ring. Yeah, I know. I can see that coming a mile away. Yeah, it's kind of funny as hell. I mean, I know it's kind of crude, rude, and social. That's my opinion. That's my mindset, thought. This is not an official news station, so I can say what I want and get away with it. But the news media, you got to tell the truth. Yeah. Governor Newsom kissing Donald Trump's ring for help. Besides, he wants federal troops in his state now to help the bombings to stop from Iran. We don't want to be our own country, man. We don't want to be our own country. We need some help. Yeah, I can see that coming a mile away. Oh, shit. Newsom, what the hell am I going to do with you, boy? First, you want to run your own state. Northern California wants to secede from Southern California. Can't blame the little asses. And then Southern California wouldn't get no fucking water. That'd blow their ass in mind. After Trump just opened up the water, California decides that we don't want you no more. Fuck you. Yeah, I don't know. Southern California's a blazing assholes. I swear. I lived there for 18 years. And 18, but 19, 21, 23 years altogether I lived there. I don't miss it one damn bit. You know, when you're going out there and you're having a barbecue on the front deck of your apartment, you walk in to go to the bathroom, come back, and you got steaks gone. And you ain't no dogs around, but the Mexican family down the street's having a hell of a nice time with their tacos now on their grill. That it wasn't happening when I was cooking mine. But yeah, yeah. I don't miss it one bit, man. I really don't. Don't get me wrong, people, I'm not prejudiced, because I tell you what, half my family's Mexican. I don't look like it, but half my family's Mexican. So yeah, so you can shove that mindset thought up your ass. It's just my opinion of what I'm thinking about illegals out there, not the legal kind, okay? So there. So if you got a problem with that, go take it up with your congressman, Wolfgang Newsom, or whatever it is. I'm telling you. The DK News and Terre Haute said you never mind. But anyway, that's my opinion. I'm sticking to it. I can be rude. I can be rude. I love my own show because I can be rude here. And I figure you ain't got to watch it. You always change the channel if you don't like it. I mean, I want this to kind of be a community effort TV here show, because this is a variety show. I'm a veteran. It's for veterans, but it's also, read the description on it. It's a veterans show for veterans and other variety news, and it's just like a variety show. We pick and choose who we want to talk about in one evening and just go with it. You guys want to talk amongst yourselves? Y'all make friends in the chat room or whatever it is. They talk amongst yourselves. Get to know each other. I wouldn't give nobody's address out if I was you, because, this is the internet. But, you be talking amongst your friends. Say, hey, what's up, Joe from Idaho? This is Chili Dang from Benang Dang, Arizona, And how you doing? Get to know each other. Trade recipes, for Christ's sake. Don't trade wars and bullets. Trade recipes. I've been awfully thinking about making uh, their show is basically just a cooking show. From food from around the world type thing, and maybe we have like a Mexican week of dinners, and maybe another week make a Chinese week of Chinese dinners. Just different things, and make different Italian dinners, and just from scratch up. None of this other bullshit, but from scratch, and maybe I'll make 1 week of the same shit out of a can of you know beans or something, can of beans, whatever. Just show you how to do shit. I'll do shit the cheap way and the super duper cheap way, because the grocery prices going up. You got to understand. I mean, you can't eat like an American no more. Can't eat that big old 16 juicy out steak and potato, man. It costs you a fortune. But I'm gonna show you how to do it. Take a roast and feed a family of 10 on the same price that you can buy one dinner for yourself. Figure that one out. Yeah. You'll learn how to cook how they do in other countries that have a problem with the beef against their people and their nutrition and having a limited amount of food for their people. The people learn to cook to adjust when they need to. You ever notice that when Chinese eat, they don't eat a lot of meat? You ever notice when a Hispanic person eats or a Mexican eats, whatever you want to call them, Latino, I wouldn't really call them Latino, I just call them Mexican, whatever that is. I'm half and pounds Mexican, probably. That's probably Spaniard and Aztec. Oh, that is a Mexican. I'm sorry, they're half breeds, but anyway. But yeah, they cook a lot of rice too. You ever know that rice is generally a main base in a lot of your dishes in your Chinese food? Maybe not so much your Mexican food, but you ever noticed that in your Hispanic food, your Mexican food, you have almost the same exact ingredients in all your meal? Or you start off as a base with tomatoes, onions, and garlic. Tomatoes, you got tomatoes, onions, garlic, and I'm talking about basic ingredients here. The rest of it's kind of pretty much common sense about what they put in there. Okay, if you can take tomatoes, onions, garlic, and if you make you a base to, marinate your meat in, you can, onions, garlic, and that's, you marinate your, depending on how long you want to marinate your, you should have to marinate it overnight. It'd be great. Just marinate it overnight. I would thaw it out. Me or meat thawed out. You use pork or beef. I prefer a butt roast, a pork butt roast when I make what I call Mexican salsa, which is, it's just called Mexican salsa, but it does have pork in it, so it's not really a salsa, but that's just what I call it. My sister and her husband Jose kind of conjured that up a few years ago, and they use the cilantro in there with their beef, and then you can take a pork base, pork bouillon, and you just let that soak overnight, and then you don't have to do it too many. You don't have to do it 2 or 3 days. Like people, it ain't gonna do any better to do it 2 or 3 days. You can either you could put it in a slow cooker, and or B, you could just slow cook it on a stove, and then you can actually heat up the boiling. I'd heat up the boiling, however long it takes to boil, depending on how your pot is. Then you can put in as much as you want to. I'm just giving you an idea of how they do it, and then from there. But then they'll boil it or whatever in a pot stove They'll get the dough boil and they'll turn it in a simmer and they'll let that sucker sit with a lid on it all damn day long. That shit falls apart in their ass. But you use pork or you use a pork. I use a pork butt shoulder blade or pork butt roast. The same thing. It's called different. It's just different, a little bit different. But anyway, I like it better than I do the pork tenderloin steaks. Tenderloin steaks really don't have that flavor. It's just there's no fat on there. Too lean to really have any good flavor to it. But I mean, I like making oh hell, it's a pork tenderloin sandwich. I don't beat the hell out of it. Get my bread and whatever and make a sandwich out of it. But that's why I want to get a cooking show so we can share all these recipes with everybody. But you marinate that and then so when I cook all day, you throw some onions in there. You can throw a little bit of a cumin, not a whole lot of cumin because cumin is very very potent. And then then you put in you can put in you get your green chilies. Very important, your green chili. I get some people have Anaheim chilies, long green chili, the poblano chilies, or both. Spread out, de-seed them. They have no heat in them anyway, so de-seed them, rinse them off, and then cut them in real thin strips, whatever thickness you like the strips, and then cut it in half again. So there may be about poblano chili peppers, probably about 6 inches long. They're about 3-inch strips, 3 long-inch strips or so, just about half. I cut them in half. And poblano chili peppers and green chili peppers about the same. And just cut them like however thick you want them. Got to remember when you put them when you start cooking them, they're going to shrink down a little bit anyway. So I mean, it is green. They're going to shrink down. It's not going to shrivel up, but it will shrink down quite a bit. So you not cut them in half. Don't cut them in quarters. You won't have anything like that. You can if you want to, but I usually just thin strips, maybe about a quarter inch strips, and then cut them in half, and that way kind of a little bit more, or cut them in thirds rather if you want to. You want to get you're going to get the flavor, and then get stewed tomatoes. Now you can you can get a bunch of tomatoes from the grocery store, the red tomatoes. You can use what I use. I use a vine ripe tomato, vine ripe or a beefsteak tomato, or whatever, and chop it up and blend it up. Don't whip it up, but just mix it up, blend it up with juice, one of your juicy stuff, and kind of slowly pour it in your pan with the rest of your stuff. You got your garlic, onion, salt, whatever, and you got your meat in there, your pork, and you got the pork in about say 3/4 inch cubes. Actually, and a 1/2 inch cubes cut up. Cut them up into about 1/2 inch cubes and chop them and throw it in there. Or you can actually leave. What I do sometimes, I'll actually maybe cut half the road up in cubes, and I'll take the other half and I'll cut it, and I'll just let it boil into like as a little roast, as a mini roast, and I'll save that up for maybe tamales, and I'll sure them when it gets cooked up really good. I'll take it and I'll shred it up to in a bowl, a couple of bowls, and I can make out of depending on how much you got left, get a pound of it, you can probably make about 16, 18 tamales out of 1 pound, and you can make I probably see you can make about almost the same for your tamales if you do it right, because your meat tamale, you understand they don't use a lot of meat, but you can go a little bit, you can probably go a little bit less, just where you put more meat in there, and then you still got enough of your cubed tank to make your bowl of salsa with, and then you can add cilantro to it or not add cilantro to it, but it's nice, preference choice. But we'll do a cooking show on that, and if you want to leave me a comment on what you leave me a comment on what you guys are trying to get a hold of. I'll maybe leave a description in one of these podcasts on certain foods, and then I'll show it to you, and then you can kind of get an idea of what you're looking at. I'll even eat the fucking burrito in front of you. And show you a bite of it, what it looks like. I'll leave you the ingredients, and I'll throw some powder on my ass like I was really cooking in here. Boy, hell that. Nah, just kidding, guys. We'll have a cooking show in here one time. We can see what we're doing, and you can see what it is, and homemade tortillas. Man, if you know how to make a homemade tortillas, you will not go back. I mean, I do. Just I'm getting old, but the taste, the flavor of a good corn tortilla or a good flour tortilla is not hard. It really isn't. It's a little bit messy. It takes time consuming, but it the burrito will make or break the sandwich, or what do you call it, burrito. It's if it's if it's a fake or whether it's a homemade authentic burrito, you can pretty much tell. Whether it's an Aztec from Walmart, burrito, or it's a it's or it's a homemade burrito or tortilla. Yeah, big difference. You will also find out where your canned tomatoes come in here. Like I said, you make it with tomato sauce, and stewed tomatoes, or you can use canned tomatoes. But you will find out if you just get the regular, you need to get the regular stewed tomatoes if you're going to do it with a can. And you can do this a couple different ways, okay? Because I'm telling you, there's nothing like fresh hot sauce. Not with fresh tomatoes, fresh onions, fresh garlic, and fresh cilantro. That's some pretty basic shit right there, but it's got it fresh. It is a world of difference, people. Thinking in a can this, and a frozen that, and a can that, and a bunch of Azteca tortillas from Walmart. Yeah, it'll taste all right. You get pretty close to a ballpark. But once you learn how to make your homemade tortillas, once you learn how to realize there's a difference in flavor between your garden fresh tomato, you go straight out of your own garden's the best. Actually, instead of going to the store, your garden. But it's to each his own. But it's just the difference between fresh tomatoes, fresh garlic, fresh onions, straight out of the ground if you can. And it's like, man, it's nothing but you just got to watch how much garlic you put in because people don't realize garlic is very potent. But that's more of a, even though it's used in a lot of Mexican dishes, it's more so Italian. It's like a main spice in Italian more than anything. With the basil and the garlic. But you'll be surprised that Mexican food has probably the same ingredients about damn near everything they make. Or you can make it with the same ingredients. It's not kind of like cooking an egg. You like it say inside up. You like it over easy. You like it fried hard, soft. You like it poached. There's or do you want to scramble? Scramble hard, soft, meat. My God, the list can go on. You want to crack in the shell, you like that. You want to have open. You want to nibble a bit of. I lost a word there. Just a damn many ways to make an egg. It's not even funny. Hash browns, and there are secrets to making good hash browns. If you shred them up, I like to leave the skin on because hash browns, so that's where the vitamins are at. And some people don't like it, but I'll just leave it on. Shred up the whole damn thing. You get a lot of vitamins in your skin. That's where the skin's at. Otherwise, you're just eating starch. People don't realize that you're not eating nothing but starch.
Stop.
But you leave the skin on, you can have your starch. You also have your skin too. So, but it's just a flavor thing, and there's a secret to making your hash browns, and the secret is taking the water out of it. People don't realize there's a lot of water in that tomato. Once you get them cut up and hashed up, man, you want to take that. Then you want to rinse them off in a little ice bath. You want to rinse them off. You wait about 5 minutes to rinse it off. And what it's going to do is make it a little cloudy. It's going to make the water a little cloudy. And then when you do, about 5 minutes later, you kind of shake them around again, just to get what you're doing is reading your cloudies and your watermelon cloudies, because that's all the starch that's coming off your potatoes.
Bonnie, I said you need to stop her.
That's how you're getting the starch off potatoes that way. And you put them in a paper towel and you blot them dry. You want those as dry as you can get them. Now, if you want to, yeah, and that's pretty much the secret right there. Just rinsing them off, getting just a lot of excess starch out, and then blotting them dry. Your next one, you want to go ahead. You don't want to cook them in all that in a lot of oil, because it's not necessary to cook them in a lot of oil. You basically, if you're doing it on a grill or a pan, just put it up to basically just cover it maybe about an inch, just about an inch through oil around. That's all you need. You don't need a whole lot, because you can reuse that oil, because it's a vegetable oil. It's not going to go bad. You know what I mean? I'd put it in the refrigerator when you get done. Let it cool down, put it in the refrigerator when you get done. But, you can straight it off with a paper towel if you get too dark. But as long as that stays light, you're good. You can reuse that son of a bitch as much time as you want to, as long as your oil stays light. Thank you for the thumbs up, guys. Appreciate it. And once you leave me a comment where y'all from. And, but anyway, that's kind of a secret to hash browns. You kind of, a little oil in there, and you kind of, if you take a drop of water, and you just put a little drop of water, in the middle of the oil there. But if it dances around, hey, you're ready. You're ready to go. You're ready to go you're ready to put the hash browns on. Because after you get all that water out of the hash browns, that's when they stay crispy on the outside and they stay golden, delicious, tender on the inside. That's the best hash browns you'll ever get. But there'll be things like that we'll be talking on the show, and have different ways of doing it. But French fries, my God, there's a lot of different ways of cooking French fries. If you make them homemade, most people make them. They say, "Oh, this tastes good. It tastes like a fucking potato." Well, it is a potato, but what people don't realize is that the fluffiness on the inside has got to be steamed out. You just can't just cut up your, potatoes. And some people cut them up to damn big. I call them steak fries. It's a fat, but to me, that's not. I mean, they taste okay, but it's too potatoey because they're just cutting it up, and then they're just throwing it in the grease, and away they go. But yeah, there's a certain way you cook potatoes too, believe it or not. There's an art to everything that's good. But how can we explain how you make a good ass French fry? It's a step process. Some people like to do it one day. Some people like to just do half of it, freeze it, and then get ready to prepare for tomorrow. All they got to do is put in the grease and fry it like it was out of a bag at the store or something. And sometimes that's how I do mine. But again, you're going to do the same thing. You're going to put in water. You're going to get that starch out there. You're going to put them on towel. You're going to blend it. You're going to put them on towel. You're going to get all that water out there. You're going to get all that water out there. And here's the key. You're going to get them oil. You got to get your oil in here, okay? You get that temperature about 350, okay? Just about 350. But in the meantime, before you do that, you want to take your French fry that you just cleaned off, let it sit, and get the starch out of there and blot it off. Now you want to get yourself some hot water, okay? Depending on how many French fries you got, get you 2 or 3 cups of water. Throw it in a pan, however much you want. You don't want to waste this water, because it's going to have sugar, it's going to have honey in there, in the water. So it's got to be warm so all that sugar can mix up together, okay, with the honey in the water.
Bonnie,
And
get out their food.
if you're going to do that, you want to, actually you can add if you do it, you can put a bouillon cube in your oil. Okay? You bouillon cube in your oil. And I'm going to explain to you why. Once you've got your pat off, once you got your water and your honey boiled, then you're going to take out your French fries out of that water, and you're going to blot them off again. Once you don't have to. Once you blot them off again, you're going to let them steam out the rest of the way. Once they steam it out, then you can take that. They're going to be long, so it's going to be kind of hard to get them in there because you don't want to cook them too long because they'll pull apart on you. You want to cook them. You want to cook them so they're still pretty firm. But get down, Bonnie, get down, get down, get down. Yeah, sorry, my dog getting up here. But you want to cook them to where you don't cook them where they're all done because you ain't when you're boiling. You don't want to do that. You're just trying to cook them to get that honey, that sugar in there. See, you get that honey sugar in there. And once they filled up, then I'd say maybe about 10 minutes, maybe is all you need to cook them. Then you gotta lay them out in a little towel. I'd take a scooper or a strainer and lay a little towel or a rack and let it drain, let the water drain out of there and let it steam out, okay? Now, at that point in time, you can, when you get in with that, it's probably about down there room temperature, and then you got your grease heat up to about 350 by then. I'm sure if some people got a French fry machine or whatever, so we put it in there. I could use that, either that or with a basket, or you could use it if you don't have a basket. You could always use a little frying pan. Just you don't need that much. You put about a cup of oil in there and throw a few French fries there at a time. But how you gonna cut those? How you gonna cut those up? Are gonna be
Bonnie, get out of their food.
Your wedges are gonna be about the size of McDonald's wedges on their fries. And there's a reason they do that. It's because believe it or not, that's what gives a lot of McDonald's fries their taste, their fluffiness. Okay, it's like the way I'm telling you how to do it. The only difference is I don't have a flash freezer to freeze my shit, and they do with the company. They do flash freezer fries. I mean, that's a big difference. I don't have that, so we were doing you got to do it the old-fashioned way. And